how do we know that the Bible is not made up?
Interesting. Okay. Well, there's not one way you're going to know the Bible's not made up. For example, there's not one way. Let's say I say to you, when I went to college, I went to a school in California near the Pacific Ocean. Okay? Now, there's not just one way you can verify what I've just said. There are going to be numerous ways. One way you might trust that what I've said is true is you would go with me on the long journey of life and discover over time that I have believable behavior to the extent that you could very well trust that if I say something, it's true, all right? And so over time, the family of faith, starting with Israel and then into the church, has trusted that these things that the Scriptures say are true. You can then go to you could go to an archaeological journey. Is there evidence that Pastor Brad, went to school at Pepperdine University? And so you could go on a journey and see, is there actual physical evidence that at some point I went to that college? You could then actually talk to other people. And what's interesting is, over time, you could check that physical evidence against personal testimony, and even as those people died, you could test trustworthy saying, physical testimony, the passing down from generation to generation, over and against what we know through history about Pastor Brad's life. In essence, that's how we have learned to trust what the Scriptures say. The Scriptures can be verified through testimony, but they can also be verified archaeologically, and they can also be verified on the tradition. So, this is a tougher one, but if you go through, for example, I did this last year, if you go through and read the writings of the second century church fathers, okay? So you have Jesus, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, you have all these different followers of Christ who eventually died, and then you have another generation right after them who were discipled by these people. These people died, and then these people were raised up. What did they write? Well, if you read what they wrote, you see that it actually jives with what all these people are saying. And if you go do that over time, it's very hard to discount what the Scriptures have said. I could go on and on and on about that, but there are great resources online. Go to YouTube and just enter "why we can trust the Bible." I think you'll find some great resources. And I will try to post something on the blog with some of those resources this week. All right?